Well, hello. Here we are for Thready Thursday. As you can see, I'm almost done with this project. I've got the other half of the frame to do, back stitching up this side, and then of course back stitching the rest of the snail and the decorations, and then this one is done. Oof. Sorry. My chair and my stand are having a disagreement today, as apparently I'm going to be having with my camera as well. Hi, sis. Rocking a bit of a headache this morning. My sinuses are all plugged. My ears hurt. So, kind of. In fact, I think I might just roll today without the camera. That saves me also from having to figure out, where to put my laptop so that I'm in screen. Are you working on anything this morning, sis? Or this afternoon, I guess. I think I'm going to have to readjust my overhead camera because it's like right where my forehead hits. Let's do this. Nope. Oh. Again. That sucks. But yeah, I don't want COVID again. You can keep that. You can keep that for yourself. Kind of a bummer. We miss having our girls, but I don't want it again. Being skin off your dad's nose, Mr. Immune System there. She have any idea where she was exposed? Or how long ago, for that matter? That's true. But she never wants to talk to me. She says she does. And then as soon as we get on video, she gets all silly. Hi, Stephanie. Ugh, that kind of sucks because if she was on day 4, if she's on day 4 now, that means the night of the rodeo is still within that incubation period, I think. So we'll keep an eye out here too, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm so stuffed up today. Dad just changed the filters and everything. Um, so I don't know. The last couple days I've just been really clogged up in my nose, and then this morning my left ear is hurting, and I have a really bad headache. Dang it! Thank you, Stephanie. Hopefully, I get more than just a couple people voting on the next one, so that I have a direction to go in, because I will definitely have this one finished by tonight for sure. Like I said, before with the ADD, I always have to have a project going. So if I get too impatient, I'll just grab one and start stitching. But so far, I have 3 votes, and it's for 3 different ones. So I don't have a consensus yet. Yeah, there's I've downloaded, really struggling with my frame today too. A sampler long time ago. Well, relatively speaking, it was probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago. I can't remember the company, but it's something dog or crud. I can't remember. And it was a free pattern that they had put out, but I haven't started it yet because, like I said, it's my goal to get rid of all of these kits before I bounce into some of my downloaded patterns again. Of course, if I wasn't now trying to like show all of what I do, it would go a lot quicker, because then I wouldn't have 2 lives a week that are not dedicated necessarily to cross stitching, but it is what it is. I've always kind of had, I don't know, always felt some type of way, I guess, about the samplers. Like in the traditional sampler style, it's always seemed weird to me. Like, why would I spend all this time stitching something to hang on my wall when when it's the alphabet? You know, I'm not running a nursery. I don't need to know the alphabet. I don't need to have it displayed, in my kitchen forever. Um, and it's usually the alphabet and then 1 through 10, or 0 through 9, technically. Um, but I have noticed that, oh, shark bait's off and running. I have noticed that lately, when I do see what is identified as samplers on some cross stitch sites, it is not it's not the traditional form, or at least not what I have in mind as a sampler. It's going to bug me not being able to remember the name of that site. Long Dog, maybe? Is she enjoying doing schoolwork, sis? I mean, I know she likes to draw and stuff, but, how is she doing with it actually being purposeful? So it is Long Dogs. She helped Daddy write a letter B. I love it. Considering he's allergic to bees, that's kind of ironic. Well, Stephanie, I stumbled across Heaven and Earth Designs a few years back, and I really, really, really love their patterns. And I downloaded a bunch thinking, oh, I could just, convert them into, a smaller count cloth. Because most of the patterns are like 28 count. And I'm like, whoa, that's way too little for these blind eyes. And that was a decade ago. But I tried. I tried to do it on 28 count when I bought my first pattern. Um, Actually, it wasn't decades ago. I can say it was, well, almost decade. It was about 9 years ago because I was going to stitch um, a welcome present for my best friend when she was pregnant. And it took me all day to stitch two lines that were like 30 by, like 30 count across. So the top three squares, quote, of a pattern, and then two lines of that. And I quit. That was as far as I ever got on that one. And I was like, oh, and I'll just convert it to a size that, I could handle. Well, I started doing the math and I'm like, oh my God, I'd be making a cross stitch that's like the size of a wall. So here I am. I've got, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 patterns of theirs that I paid for, printed out, and will most likely never, ever, ever stitch. Because, yeah, that 28 count is not going to happen. And I really don't understand that, 2/1, blah, blah, blah stuff that they talk about, like when you're stitching on linen, which I also do not enjoy doing. I don't know what I'm more scared of, quilting or Heaven and Earth Designs, when I really think about it. I need my elbow cushion. Yeah, possibly. I think I would probably contact heaven and earth first to make sure that I'm not violating any laws by reselling something that I have already purchased. Um, I don't think there is, but the copyright laws for art stuff is so tricky. Because I know with like magazines, if I was to buy, like if I buy one of those books that's got, 50 patterns in it, I can sell the whole book if I chose to, but I can't sell the individual patterns um, without violating copyright. I am having so many issues today. It's probably because my head is hurting, so I'm not thinking clearly. Not sure why I'm having so many issues. Oh, not positive. And then playing this game and trying to figure out. My brain does not do this, left is right, right is left stuff very well. That's why I don't play those kinds of video games. I sucked at Cubert for that very reason. Up should be up, down should be down, so on and so forth. The left should be left, right should be right. Quite possibly, sis. I've always kind of admired the fact that even though I was the one that taught you how to crochet, you, well, myself and YouTube, um, have gone above and beyond even my skill in crochet because I could not even begin to write my own patterns. Oh, see, I moved my phone and now it's blocking my light. Hopefully, I have a ring light on order and hopefully, it's supposed to come in. My last update said it was supposed to be in tomorrow, so we'll see. But tomorrow is also the last quote unquote day of delivery. So I guess if it doesn't come tomorrow, I can request a refund. So Stephanie, have you ever shared what you do for work? I don't know that I'd call that hyperfixation as much as I would call it skill. Ooh, paralegal. You're in a scary community to have that kind of a job. I imagine it's hard for you to keep your professional opinions to yourself. Now, I've shared a bit about like my preferences or my techniques, I guess, in cross stitching. How about you, Stephanie? When you start a thread, do you loop stitch or do you carry it behind stitches for that, inch plus? I will say I'm getting a little annoyed with, to say, the people that are supposed to be supporting me in this. This is the second live in a row that people have known were scheduled, but then didn't bother to come in. A little frustrating. Trying to get a new channel going and getting it out there when, you know, the very people that encourage you to start a channel are not supporting you. Ain't got a life. I ain't got a life either, especially when the kids are sick. Yeah, see, even 20 counts too small for me. Yeah, I don't know that you could use the loop method if you're only doing single strand. Um, I mean, at least in my brain, I can't fathom how that would work. Like people on 14 at most patterns recommend that you use 3 threads, but I can't fathom how to do the loop stitch with 3 threads. Um, and because I prefer the loop method for starting, um, I just do 2 and then resign myself to being okay with whatever canvas color bleed through happens. So, do you railroad when you are using 2 threads? God, I couldn't imagine trying to stitch on 20 right now. I'm having a hard enough time with 14 and coming to the realization that I may have to be dropping to 11 soon. And I'm not super sure I'm cool with that. Railroading is the primary way I keep my threads. Like even if they are twisting, I can still get my stitches to lay flat overall. Couple things that I've noticed in doing the kits. Um, this one in particular, actually, um, is I'm having difficulty railroading. Number one, because the thread keeps splitting in really weird places. Um, and so I go to railroad, and instead of having two single threads, I've got like six or five. So I've got to figure out where the actual middle is before I can railroad. Um, but I'm also really struggling with pin stitching on this kit. And I don't know if it's the cloth, if it's the thread, combination of both. I don't know what the deal is, and I prefer to pin stitch to end if I can, just so that I'm turning the work over less often. But I don't know. I mean, this is really cute, but I'm struggling with it. And I get that, they're probably even, well, they are even lower quality, even for a kit, than what normally would be a kit. Um, because I did order them direct from China. Um, everything probably is counterfeit in some form or fashion. I don't really like doing kits. I mean, I like them in the sense that they take a far less time to actually get set up and get going again on the next project, but overall, my experience is less satisfying working with kits. Um, but for a while there, the Ada, which again, I'm not sure if that's how that's pronounced, but that's how I pronounce it. Um, for a while there, it was very difficult to find, especially in anything. I mean, black was easy. Black was everywhere, and I don't really like working on black Ada unless I have extremely good lighting. Um, but getting any kind of like eggshell or white was next to impossible. You can get it in like the little 12 by 18 prepackaged, pre-cut, but buying a big piece of it was really difficult to find. So during that period, it was when I bought all the kits. Um, because I'm ADHD and I'm impatient, um, I made the purchase of all the kits. If I'd have just waited a little bit, or even spent more time online looking for an online source other than just like going to Amazon and being like, oh, they're not much better. I probably never would have bought the kits, to be honest. They are cute, and they were images that I have not seen anywhere. Although, like I said, I'm sure they are counterfeit images, um, given the source that I purchased from. Um, but yeah, I guess the good part of it is that at the end of the day, I still have the patterns. Once the kits are stitched, I still have the patterns, and if I decide to stitch them again, I can stitch them on quality fabric with quality thread, and hopefully increase the quality of the work. If that makes sense. The lighted magnifying light. Um, Sorry, I've just caught your some of your previous statements, Stephanie. I know I have a headlamp that I've used in the past, um, and my husband always like he gives me a hard time when I would use it. Gave me a little bit of a complex, I guess. Um, but I found that it was making my head sweat a lot. Um, and it would kind of give me a little bit of a headache from the pressure on my head holding the light on. So what I have right now is I actually have a battery pack. My setup right now is really funny. Um, I have a pen, like a lighter size battery pack in the microphone holder of my boomstick, my boom arm, and plugged into that is a USB light that is sitting over my head. And the USB light came with light bulbs um, for my dragon enclosures. Um, as I have a ring light on order. It's just taking forever to get delivered. I did see these really cool ring lights. They actually they attach straight to your phone. It's like um, they were like 3 inches in diameter or something, 3 or 4 inches in diameter, and they actually hooked right onto your phone, which I thought was cool. For people that do like selfies and stuff. But I wouldn't be able to use it and my boom arm at the same time. Where'd you go, Minnie? Well, because a slip stitch is a sucky stitch. Well, I would tell you to do a foundation single crochet, but I don't know if that would work for working in the round. Well, why aren't you using a stitch marker, silly girl? Did you lose them all? Are they in the same place as my 100 needle threaders? But that does explain why you were so quiet. You were busy counting. Oh, okay. Well, you do what you got to do, right? See, that's why I don't like making things. I mean, like we were saying, on monsters, it doesn't really matter, but, that's always been my issue with, making like the humans and stuff because it bugs the daylights out of me that things are uneven. Whew. Did you see my short about my new coffee cup? That's true. She doesn't care what her monster looks like as long as it's got a tummy, a butt, and a face. You could even give it to her with no legs and she'd be happy. Yeah, my needle threader here. It's supposed to be helping me, be able to see to thread my needle. It's not real helpful when I can't even see to thread the threader. Yeah. Her little video. What is this? That butt. Grandma made it for Mina. No. God, that was a long time ago. Hey, what's the name of that YouTuber that you watch that talks about crime stuff while she's doing her makeup? Bailey Sarah. Okay. I was talking to your biological Aunt Kay um, the other night, and she was talking about some of the YouTube channels that she has started following, one of which is a makeup person. And I happened to mention that you watch a YouTuber that does true crime while doing her makeup, and she's like, "Oh my god, that so sounds like her." Her being you, that would be something that you would watch. But I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember the girl's name. I'm gonna have to find my thermometer. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm running a temperature. I'm really warm right now. So I hope I'm not getting sick. I mean, you heard shark bait. Ooh, Oh my gosh. He actually cleaned without giving me an error. I'm amazed. Emptied his dust cup without erroring. Sharkbait seems to be having as many issues today as I am. So far, we've had a ledge warning. I don't have any ledges um, to worry about anyway. Got stuck under the couch. Um, the dust cup got clogged midstream, like a mid vacuum. I don't even know what the deal was. It was like right in the middle of the playroom, and I get an alert that the dust cup is needs to be emptied. Um, which I only usually get those when it's docking to empty. And I'm like, what the hell? And I pull it out and there was nothing. I mean, there was no clog in the dust bin. I'm like, what is going on today? Blame CERN. Yeah. Error number 9. Error number 9. Error number 9. I get so sick hearing error number 9. It's having some major communication issues or something. Like, have you ever gotten that error code while it was vacuuming? What's really funny is I kind of read your comment, Sam, out of the corner of my eye, so I just kind of like saw the hand gesture um, real quick as a purple image, and then Sharky's been acting up, blame, and then in all caps, and I totally thought it was a comment from Stephanie saying blame Jen. I look back again and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I was going to ask, why is it Jen's fault though? My vacuum's not working. And then, wait, everything is Jen's fault. I forgot. I mean, I know I have 3 dogs in the house, and the vacuum that I had before was really not very good at picking up dog hair. But you would think it would be caught up by now. I mean, it vacuums 7 days a week, and it's been vacuuming 7 days a week since July 1st. You would think it would be caught up now on all the dog hair. I mean, and I get that my dogs are shedding, but how the hell? I don't think they're shedding that much, but it clogs constantly. Yeah, that darn work thing got in your way, Stephanie. I get it. Is there much backstitching that's done on the samplers? Yeah, Sam, if you could show me sometime, that would be great. Mine, at least now, suddenly seems to appear um, to be vacuuming efficiently. I can get my whole house done in 2 cycles now instead of it taking 3, because it still does its confusion dances every now and again, but it's not going from my living room and halfway through doing my living room deciding it's now time to do the bathroom on the other side of the house, and then comes back and does the playroom and docks, recharges, comes back and finishes the living room. Yeah, I really, really, I'm with you there, Stephanie. I don't enjoy backstitching. I don't like it at all. Um, I don't like doing it, but I love the effect. Um, like when I was doing the blue snail last night, watching it come together and the facial features come out, I'm like, oh, it's the power of the backstitch, as pain in the butt as it is. I'm usually really selective about patterns that don't use full stitches. Um, that last one with the cat was a pain. I don't like doing quarter and 3/4 stitches at all. Hi, Jen. So Sam, are you volunteering for future reference? Just like I have you come in and tie all my ends in on crochet. You're volunteering to come and do all my back stitching. I just looked up at my TV and noticed that there's a movie on instead of Jen and the Wolf Pack. So I figured you must have ended your live. Oh, it's Congo on the TV. Such a good movie. Amy, pretty monkey. Yeah, but I think I've heard enough about the Queen's passing to last me at least for today. I will probably tune in if they choose to air the funeral and stuff, but um, I'm in the United States. I don't go to somebody's stream chat, to sit and hear nonstop about how the Queen died. And hey, did you know the Queen died? And hey, the Queen died. Gets old pretty fast. Yeah, she did today, sis. I mean, it seemed like, she was 96, so it's not like it shouldn't have been expected from that aspect. Um, but it seemed like at the same time it was fairly quick. Like, just, I hadn't been seeing any kind of news reports on her health or anything until like 4 hours ago, and then boom, she was gone. Um, so it sounds like whatever, I don't know if she had a chronic illness that just flared up recently because they were monitoring her really closely, and then she passed. Um, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't follow British Parliament. Are they Parliament over there? See, I don't even know. Their government. So, um, Jen, are you asking what I'm going to do with it when I'm done? I don't really know. I'll probably stick it in my tote of finished projects that I have over to my left. I don't believe you were in the stream where I showed those. Um, I tend to just stitch because it keeps my mind settled. Um, but what that ends up resulting in is me having massive amounts of finished projects that just kind of sit in a tote with nothing to do. Um, unless I find somebody that I'm like, oh, I think they would really like this, I'll give it to them or whatever. Um, but I don't know. I was kind of contemplating, since I'm doing this on stream, and I'm having my subscribers participate in voting for the projects and so on and so forth. Um, I don't know, that maybe I would do drawings or something for not just the ones that I'm stitching on camera now, but the ones that I have in my stash over there. I mean, it would be nice if I could do it as like a raffle kind of. Um, that way I'd have a little bit of income coming in to replace my supplies, but I don't know if that's allowed on YouTube. Yeah, Stephanie, I'm horrible. I don't know that I've ever. No, I take that back. The only cross stitch that I've ever framed only got framed because I was admitting it as an exhibit to our local fair. And I was also, when the fair was over, because I stitched the New York skyline right after, well, not right after. I started it probably on year 8 after the World Trade Towers. And I stitched it. I entered it in fair that year. And then after fair was over, I donated it to a local fire department here, because they sent a bunch of our firemen over to help the day of the bombing and lost several of their people in New York that day. So yeah, that was the only piece I ever got framed. Crafty trivia prize giveaway. Yeah, I do think the snail would make a cute pillow. I don't want to drive anymore. And that was the funny thing. We were talking about that. I think it was in your live yesterday, is like there was a period of time where I didn't drive because of the weather. And then once the weather retreated, it made more sense for me to continue carpooling with my husband, because our works were only a couple miles apart and he passed mine on the way to his. So I continued carpooling. And so he would drop me off on the way to work, pick me up on the way home. We did that for several years. And it's like, and now that I'm not working, I'm like, oh, I can drive into town. I can go do this. And I'm like, and now it kills me to drive. I mean, physically it's painful. And so I'm like, now that I have all this time and I can actually drive somewhere, I can't drive. So it kind of sucks. Oops, I got to close my craft room door. My shark is trying to. This is not the place for you. Nope, out, out, out. Thank you. No, stop pushing on the door. Ooh. No. Turn around. There you go. Stupid shark. And that's pretty sad, because I think if it's not cheaper here than gas, it's pretty damn close. Jen, once upon a time, I hesitate to call her even a friend, because I don't know that she ever really truly was my friend. What did I do here? Oh, I didn't make a mistake. I'm just not braining. I had a person that I knew, and they had all kinds of farm animals. And it was not uncommon to be standing in your kitchen cooking something and turn around and have a horse face in your face, or a llama, or having a goat poking you because they wanted an apple, or, they would just leave the front door open and the animals would come and go as they pleased. I know, here I am talking, I'm on a live stream talking to an inanimate object, telling it to leave my craft room. Quit pushing on the door, go away. Like, I pushed the door and it pushed it back open. I'm like, no, go away. So, funny story about that person, that family. Um, we were headed to fair one day. So our fairs, one day is the check-in. So it's all animals are checking in um, at the same time. Well, this particular family always had so many different kinds of animals at the fair all the time and lived out in the middle of nowhere. Stop pushing the door. Yeah. You don't get to pee in peace when you have children. You should know that by now. Um, and because, they lived out in the middle of nowhere, it was a long drive to the fairground. So it was like, you know what? We're just going to load everything up into the Suburban all at once. So keep in mind, between her and I, we had 8 children. And those 8 children were showing rabbits, llamas, goats, and chickens. So you bet your ass that we loaded the 2 adults, all 8 children, plus an extra child or 2. I know we had at least one other child with us. Plus the goats and the llamas and the chickens and all the rabbits into the Suburban all at one time and started heading into town. The funniest part of that story is that we also had to stop and get lunch on the way to the fairgrounds. So I'll be damned if we didn't drive that Suburban through the drive-through line at McDonald's. So it kind of became the running joke that, we tried to make a special delivery of meat to McDonald's, but they turned us down. The kids on the floorboard. Yep. And I kind of think about that relationship the same way you do about B, is that while overall the relationship was not good, it was pretty damn toxic, there were some good times to look back and smile at. Had 2 llamas cushed in the back of the Suburban. Oh my God, the days. Those were the days. Yeah. Maybe it is something about the bees. I don't know. Some of the worst people that I've ever come across in my life um, have had the same name, but it didn't start with a B. You would name your goat Pooh? Why would you name your goat Pooh? Oh, I'm down here at the bottom and my frame is getting in the way of my hand. Well, I don't know. It just seems like an odd name for a goat. I mean, other than the fact that they do poo everywhere they go. They don't have a poo spot. They just poo as they walk. Jen, have you started learning crochet yet? Bet she's double devising. But that's all right. I've been on here for just over an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Tomorrow, I initially was going to do Physiology Friday on arthritis, but that's going to take a little bit more research than I had anticipated to get like all the super facts in order. So I'm going to bounce that out for now. So tomorrow I'll just kind of be talking about confidentiality laws in the medical industry, HIPAA, and then 42 CFR and how that impacts drug and alcohol records, and how the two work together or not in some cases. What constitutes a HIPAA violation, who was covered by HIPAA, and that kind of stuff. So hopefully I see you guys all tomorrow, and have yourself a good rest of today. Ta-ta!